Hello, everybody. We are looking at this problem reverse linked list. We are given a head of a singly linked list. We are supposed to reverse this list. What does it mean by reverse? So we have a list something like this. This is the head pointing to 1, 1 points to 2, 2 points to 3, and so on. 5 points to null. When we reverse it, all these connections are broken and replaced with back connections. As can be seen in example below. 5, which was in the last, becomes the new head pointing to 4, 4 pointing to 3, 3 pointing to 2, and 2 pointing to 1, and 1 pointing to null. So let's take out this example. So the first thing I need is I need to point 1 to null. So I can put a pointer over here. Let's call it current, representing the current node I'm working on. Now this one, its next pointer can be pointed to a null value, which means this pointer is broken. As you can see, there is a problem over here. We lost all information about 2. There is no pointer pointing at 2. So if we perform this operation, we would lose all information about 2. So to preserve that information, let's keep a pointer called next, representing the next pointer of current. Its purpose is to preserve the reference of the next node because the next pointer of the previous node is broken and it's shifted to somewhere else. Now let's move forward with this algorithm. The next thing we need to do is, since we are done with current node, let's move current forward, which means this current moves to the next node, which we can do by current equals to next. This next can move to the next of current, can move over here, and that can be done using next equals to next dot next. Let's redraw the diagram. In the next iteration, we need to point 2 back to 1, but we do not have any information regarding 1. Since we moved the current counter from 1 to 2, we lost all information about 1. So to deal with this problem, we are going to keep another pointer called previous. So the current would point to previous, something like current dot its next pointer pointing to previous. So if I redraw the diagram again, 2 has now started pointing to 1. Let's go to the next iteration, which means all of these pointers move forward, which means previous goes to current, current goes to next, and next goes to its next. Let's redraw the diagram. So now the previous moves to 2, current to 3, next to 4. Let's run the same algorithm on this. So 3 points to previous, and this is broken. All these pointers move forward. So the diagram becomes something like this. Now we can break the pointer from 4 to 5 and move it to 3. Similarly, the pointers go forward. Now in this case, next moves to the next of next, which would be null. Let's redraw the diagram. We have something like this. Previous pointing to 4, current pointing to the last element, and next is pointing to null. In this case, we can again use the same algorithm, point the current node to the previous node. Now let's move these pointers forward. So previous goes to 5, current goes to null, but next does not go anywhere because there is no next after null. So the diagram looks like we have previous pointing to 5 and current pointing to null. If we have current pointing to null, we are going to say that the algorithm is completed and the linked list is reversed. So you can see this linked list is matching with this linked list, and the head is equals to previous. We can return previous from our function and we would have a reverse linked list. Now let's take a look at the code implementation. So here in the code editor, we are given a function reverse list. Its argument is head of the linked list and it returns the head of a reversed linked list. First of all, let's assign the current pointer, which would point to the head of the linked list. We would have a previous pointer, which would point to none. Let's say we want to traverse through this linked list until current is not none. So over here, we can say while we have a value of current. After that, since we want to manipulate the next pointer of current, it would be great to store its next. And that's what we would do with this next pointer, which would point to current dot next. After that, current dot next would be moved to previous. Once we have broken this connection, let's move all pointers forward, which means previous points to current and current starts pointing to the next which we have stored. We don't have to move next because next would be generated by next.current in every iteration. Now this loop will end when current is none, and in that condition the previous pointer would store the head. So let's return previous. So this should be it. Let's run the code. So we have it passing. Let's submit it. So this is how you reverse a linked list.